up. To say the truth, I was never really fit. In fact, I failed my NAFA, but somehow I can climb up. So yeah, after 1 hour or so, I get down, and for me, I think the most, and in the afternoon, I continue. If let's say there are any jobs, I continue doing the same thing. What's interesting about being an inspection engineer, sometimes you see certain corrosion, right? And then you look at it, and then you will start asking in the process what has happened, what speed they have processed, what kind of corrosion mechanism do you expect, what kind of temperatures what kind of temperature does this equipment see, and you try to match what you see to what degradation is expected. So it's quite interesting in that way, because you always try to see what's wrong with your plant. Like let's say, sometimes maybe the equipment shouldn't have anything wrong, an air vessel for example, but maybe there's water and train in it and then results in localized corrosion, which you might have missed out if you did not look at it carefully, but you happen to pick it up, and then you try to correlate, find out what's wrong, make recommendations back to operations to find out what should be done. Yeah, so that's what happens. For me, the most exciting time is actually a turnaround, because that's when all the equipment are open in a unit. So I just climb in and climb out and climb in and climb out, but I get to see many things. So that's what I like. I mean, about engineering work at least. If you have any more questions, I see you whispering.
No more questions? Okay, let's thank Ms. Pearly, and we'll now open the questions to all the speakers, so we can ask questions to any of the speakers. Yes?
Actually, like for 3 years, right, you never worked in the engineering field. Can you go back to the engineering field after 4 or 5 years? Or like your first career path must be engineering, you learn to continue.
Sorry, you're asking, who are you asking?
Oh, I think everyone. I saw his face over here.
Okay, I pass the microphone to Ifa and let him answer. Actually, to be honest, I do not have the answer to your question because I have not worked for 4 to 5 years and I do not wish to go back to engineering. So, I guess if after 4 to 5 years of working, you really want to switch industry, then you have to be prepared for the #1 biggest pain of all, pay cut. Yes, because you'll be starting from kosong. Yeah.
Engineer.
Okay, engineer answer. Okay, just one thing I need you all to realize, that is that if let's say you work in a job, don't always think staying in a job long is good. It is not necessarily good. How do I put it this way? In Shell, right, we have different hiring schemes for experienced hires and for graduate hire. If you want to be a graduate hire, right, you must work less than 2 years in another job before coming over to Shell. If you decide to work, like, let's say 3 years in another company before coming to Shell, then you join us as an experienced hire, which is a different scheme. Yeah, so if you decide that you want to change jobs, you have to decide quickly, at least before the 2 years is up. If you decide to change and come in, then you come in as an experienced hire. Because what happens is that when Shell hires you as a fresh hire, they look at you as someone who doesn't have any competency, so they are willing to train you. They decide to post you from department to department to train your competencies. But when you are hired as experienced hire, you are hired specifically to do one kind of job. And when you want to move, it's a bit more difficult because you are hired for that job. So just be clear of this distinction.
Can I just add on, if you are an engineer from the start, it's actually better for you actually, because if you acquire some engineering experience, it's still counted as experience. So whatever skills you pick up, you can actually, depends on your company as well. If you're working for a big MNC like Shell or ExxonMobil, you can ask for internal transfers, no problem with that. You can always go to maybe a finance department, but maybe they won't throw you into something where you require a lot of financial knowledge, but more on analytical and logical thinking. Okay? the converse is not really true. Let's say if I start off like an accountant right now, right? So I have to pick up all that knowledge, but I have no engineering experience. Meaning, let's say when the economy is bad, people have job cuts, and then engineering companies will actually still be around because you still need to build roads, you still need to build buildings, you still need to inspect things. So all these jobs will still be around. For me, if I will go back to engineering, I have to start from zero. But the good thing about finance is if you specialize long enough, maybe 5 years, and you reach a certain kind of like in that function, you have a good position, meaning you're a manager, well, you have some managerial roles and above. So for those, maybe you can switch to other departments, things like more finance related. That is if you are in finance industry. Okay? For banking, engineers can go anywhere in a bank. That is for sure. Okay? But in accounting industry, it is more protected. It's like law. If you are a lawyer, you cannot do any other things. Okay? Nobody will want you. Unless you are a trained lawyer, then everybody will want you. But prior to that, you are really okay. But engineering, yeah, rest assured, engineering is a very, very good starting ground. Okay. So anybody else with career fears, or maybe I can try and allure it away. More importantly is in the industry that you work in, try and work hard. At least show, if you cannot work hard, at least show that you work hard. So that people can be convinced, right? They are willing to work hard. If they say produce A, but you cannot produce A, but you work hard at it, they say, okay lah, maybe, next time you'll be better, Okay. But of course don't do it too often lah. One trick pony. Yeah. And ask a lot of questions, not to the point that it becomes irritating, but ask questions where you actually show that you think ahead already. Okay, you can do the same for your studies. It's the same thing. When you look at your problems, you always think of, how do I get the answer? Right? So it's the same thing. Most of the, I'm not sure, like, for accounts, we also have a lot of problems. It's quite boring, because we have to find out what are the things relating to certain lines. In accounting, there's a lot of lines. Under the class of assets, you can have one whole jargon of financial terms. For me, I don't even understand. I have to go to Wikipedia every time I come across something like what's accrued, what is mortgage, I don't know, things like that. What is net future value, present value, future value, all these things. Things that people, in the finance people, they probably know it at the back of their hand already. But we have to go and dig out. So you have to go Wikipedia and then start learning on the spot. Okay. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to learn. That's the thing. If you want something, just go and get it. And make sure you go. You do what you need to do to get it. Don't worry about the future.
How long did you take to get an ACCA or CMA?
Oh, I didn't take an ACCA because I believe I'm better than that. I'm going for an ACA actually, and maybe I might do a CFA in the process of getting my ACA. And ACA is a accredited chartered accountant. It's given, it's with the UK Institute of Chartered Accountants, England and Wales. That one, yeah, from that question is a very good question, by the way. With an engineering degree, right, all you have to do is clock a certain number of years of experience in a different industry. Let's say if you want to go to accounts, I can tell you for accounts for sure, and banking. If you want to go into banking, you want to be a financial analyst, you want to be a business development leader, or M&A guy. M&A is mergers and acquisitions, corporate finances. If you want to do all these, you just need to work maybe about 4 or 5 years, relevant experience. Then you can go and take a professional qualification. Or even better now, there's this easier way called a master's degree, where people pay huge amounts of money just to get a piece of paper to impress the whole world, just to get the job that you want. Okay, so that's another alternative. It's faster. People with a lot of money in the pocket just go for it, go for the masters. Then after that, they come in at a different entry level. Yeah. For myself, I think experience counts a lot. I mean, experience is the best teacher, right? This Prof Fong. Experience is the best teacher, right? Coming from MIT. So yeah. Question.
I know banking is very stressful industry. I want to know whether there is any
People in trading. Money, definitely. Because your target is money.
target money?
You need to earn, let's say if your boss comes to you, you need to earn $10 million. You can't say, oh, I want to be good at playing soccer. Cannot what? You need to earn money, $10 million. Whereas other people in different, like in banking operations, the boss say, I need you to help me improve the process. Then that's a different kind of objective really. Some people like to improve processes. Some people like to earn big bucks. Some people like to look impressive, but actually inside the head got nothing on. Those are the salespeople. Then when they need help, right, then they will go to the more expert people like we all the accountants or the finance researchers. And then they'll say, hey, help me, my client asked me something which I really don't know. And they'll probably be using the same statement, right, every day in their life. Okay. Yeah. But of course, sales gets the money, that's for sure. If you are a sales engineer, oh yeah, there's something called sales engineer which nobody asks. You can be an inspection engineer and earn a fixed salary, or you can be a sales engineer and earn a commission-based salary. So if you sell 10 monkeys for $100, and next month you sell 100 monkeys for $10, you'll get higher pay next month. That's for sure. So maybe if you want to be less specialized in a certain role, you want to meet people, you're interested in money, you like to say, I don't know, but I know someone who knows very often, then you can do sales, no problem. But take note, as an engineer, and with your basic degree now, it's really all that you need for now. Yeah? Try and learn more.
What is the market rate for fresh graduate now?
Market rate for
Among the industry.
For across industry, yeah. Depends also what role you want to do. Yeah, I can't give you a fixed rate. And don't trust the newspapers. They also don't know anything. Yeah, what job you want? If you okay, I can tell you banking. Banking, if you are in operations, the pay is about 3,000, something about that. Fresh grad. Yeah, am I right? Anyone?
Same as Shell, I think 3,000 plus.
Oh, Shell is paying 3,000 plus. Actually, for most graduate jobs, including government jobs, the starting pay is about 3,000.
Yeah, all the studies and
Yeah, except for accounting. Sorry to break the news. You think we're very rich? Actually, no, we're not very rich. We know how to save money. That's the thing. That's why we're rich. So, for accounting, starting pay is, I'll be transparent with you. It's 2,600. Okay, it's very low. Even the temp staff, right? The temp staff that I have under me, also earning about half my pay. They don't even have a graduate degree. Okay, but I think the consoling thing is you hope for the best because our pay, right, is in increments of percentages, so it compounds over the years. If you think about it, after 10 years, right, I'll be laughing to the bank. But by then, I already lose half my soul already. So are you prepared to work hard? Because I am. Are you? Yes?
Is there any circumstances that you negotiate the pay with your boss?
Negotiate the pay with your boss? I'm not very assertive, maybe I ask.
Negotiate the